it's just solidifying at the bottom. And I was like, oh, can I get that to not do that? No.
Okay,
We
well,
are
the sense of our
in,
menu is being
boys.
sent to a third
We're
party.
almost there.
Oh my gosh! I tell you what,
we
we
are
are live.
only about 8 minutes
We
late.
are live.
We're going live.
It's
just
happening.
about
Oh, that was so
somewhere
painful.
here. It's going to be happening anytime.
Yeah, we're here. We got it. We are
Do we
live.
have it? Are we live now?
We are actually live.
Are we recording?
I'm in the process of grabbing the chat. I'm in the process of grabbing everything. So everybody who's going to be coming in, just bear with us for a second.
We got
as I
some
get everything
technical
up and running.
things that Robert here is going to be taking care of. I'm the old guy. I have no idea how the hell this stuff works. So, yeah.
But you got the shirt.
So, all right.
All right, here we go.
So-
We're pulling her up.
Okay. So we are live.
We are live. Mark G says finally, because we
Yeah,
took
I know we're
so
late.
long.
We're late.
People probably thought we weren't coming today.
YouTube changed some
Am
things.
I fashionably late?
Oh my goodness.
Just the way we like
But
to
we're
be.
worth the wait, right?
It is worth the
Damn
wait.
right.
Worth
Holy
Worth our
smoke.
weight in rum.
So true.
Yeah. Well, you gotta get your weight in rum down at the Miami Rum Renaissance. This was it not this weekend, but the next weekend after that.
Right.
Go down there and get your weight worth of rum. Right there.
So I tell you what, we're gonna get this. I'm just getting this into the Facebook.
You don't
group.
really know how much you weigh until you measure it in gallons.
There you go.
Just saying. Volume,
Yeah.
right? Volume.
You know, I'm wearing my
that's an
Mai Tai shirt
interesting
tonight.
thought.
Wearing my Mai Tai shirt tonight in hopes that the Mai Tai is going to open soon. Have you heard about it?
The Mai Tai. Say that again,
Well, the
Rob.
Mai Tai restaurant, the Polynesian bar and restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, is imminently ready to open. Just about, you know. And there's just been a lot of buzz about it in the rum.
MAIKAI, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, since 1956.
Right.
One of the original tiki palaces. I know people who turned their bar mats at 5 o'clock and prayed towards Mai Kai.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know some weird people.
I do. I really do. You know, buddy, you don't know the half of it.
All right, we're coming in here. So, guys, everybody, thank you for hanging with us here as we're jumping on. We had some technical difficulties. Zoom has been changing things. YouTube has been changing things. So we're just excited to actually be here.
Yeah.
That we can actually have the Burrs join us today. So we have
Thank you.
Rob hanging out, who we are always
He's right
grateful
there.
to have.
Yep.
And then we've got Robert.
Robert.
Also
At your
hanging out.
service.
And then I also being Robert. We're just basically ganging up on Rum
I'm
Daddy
right
over
here.
there
I'm
tonight.
still
We should get Robin. And then we have more Robs than
There you go.
Yeah.
the
So,
more Robs, the merrier.
Filling the R names at the moment, just filling the crew. I'm excited to have you guys on here. Obviously, it's a week and a half away from the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, which we are attending.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there.
Super, super excited. Last week we were kind of hyping a little bit of some of the names that are going to be there. We've been really, really excited to talk with you guys. First question right out of the gate, after I've already welcomed you, I'm just going to hit you with a good one. What is going on this year that people need to come see? What's the thing they need to come see? We're starting off with the big one.
Well, you know, one of the things is that we always have Rum St. James, one of our favorites from Martinique, right? And, you know, when they told us that they couldn't make it this year, we were sort of disappointed, but then they sent some really great rum. And so they couldn't be here, but I don't think anyone has seen the 18-year-old that they just came out with. And we have some rare bottles from the distillery that we visited recently. And so St. James will be very well represented, as are so many others, you know. But that's a pretty cool one, because look, there it is.
La la. Ooh,
Now that's
la,
the first
la.
time you've seen St. James 18.
Hmm.
And you know, listen,
And you won't see it again until you come.
the rums in Martinique start to get old and mature when they're 4 years old. I mean, so like, you know, a 12-year-old is really well aged, and 18 is really crazy.
Well, you
I
never
mean,
forget
you know,
your first Martinique 18-year-old, you know?
Think about it, Roy. 18 years ago, we were young and good looking. I mean, and these guys were in diapers, you know, so.
Now, hold on a minute. That was the
James-
best looking I ever was.
Yeah,
This is as good as it's been. This is peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're peaking.
Who are we kidding? I peaked in college.
So there's really, there's always some new rums that you don't even know. And that's why you go give them a shot, see what they got, right?
So I got to ask you. So are you going to have was a Jensen liquor store kind of
Yeah.
set up right there?
Yeah.
Are
they're
we going to
always there.
have that St. James 18 year there available?
No,
Oh,
that's not even in the country.
that's not even in the
Not
country.
even in the country. No, but
Man.
you'll get a sneak peek, and then listen, get yourself on the short list, and we'll send you some when it's there.
Awesome.
We're ready. We got to do
That's
what we got to
awesome.
do to get on that short list. I
Yeah,
tell you
we
what,
do.
we got to be nicer to people.
We
It never
starts right
hurts.
there. Starts right there. You got to be nicer. You do.
Yeah,
I'm always
just
nice.
me personally.
I'm always
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys are
as you-
ridiculously nice. It's disgusting, really. So don't try
As you guys
any
are
harder.
jumping into the comments here, we can see all of your chit chats as we come through. Mark, Carlos, Terry's here, Daniel, Jeremy, Phil, thanks for coming in. If you guys have questions throughout tonight, make sure to shoot them off. We will read those, carry them over. Or if you just want to make fun of us and send that stuff, we love that stuff too. That's totally fine. But I did want to just let you know that the chat's available for that. And let us know still where you're from and what you're drinking if you're new or anything like that. We're always excited to have
Love
you
to
guys
hear from
here.
you.
What does chat think of my new glasses?
Yeah, what do we think?
Those are
They
sharp.
look like little
glasses.
goldfish
I
balls.
like it. The round style's been popping up so much more lately, I feel like.
I always wanted round, but everyone always was like, dude, what are you, Harry Potter? And I'm like, no, that would have to have the scarf for this. I was aiming
It's so funny that you say that
for
because
Lennon.
exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's more John Lennon than anything.
Yeah, sure you were. Way to
I
bandwagon.
mean, I guess maybe they need to be like tinted a certain color, yellow or red or something before they'll be like, John Lennon.
Yes. But that's exactly what I was going to say. That is no shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we all believe you.
Uh,
So you guys,
Añejo.
so you guys obviously referenced bringing in some new people. One last year that I'm trying to remember the name of it. It slipped my mind for whatever reason. You guys had brought in a new one last year. That was kind of a new age modern distillery. They did the seminars. Renegade.
Yeah.
Okay. So they just sold, right?
No,
so
it's not actually sold yet, but
they're selling currently, correct?
Yeah, it's not clear if they are, but
okay,
they're looking for some more investors.
Okay.
I think
so
it's accurate to say they lost some investors who didn't like the long curve that this was going to take to play out.
Yeah, good things take time. When you're building something great. So, I mean, I was very excited about them last year. I was interested.
There you go.
Interested to see that article come out. So I am excited to see if they're able to pull that together and keep it in house, or if that does go and get sold, what that's going to look like for them.
And here's the thing about Renegade is that what they call the pre-cask ones that have not been aged, which is what they did first. They didn't have them aged, so they sold, the clear rums, and every one was from a different field. There is, among all the rum collectors, and we take this shit seriously, right? Nobody has them all because they've never all been in one place at one time. And unless you went to Grenada and broke in, in the late evening and grabbed them, nobody has them all. So these are unobtainables, And so if you have some Renegade rum, from 2 years ago, you had the very first beginnings. If you had some from a year ago, you had some of the first that was aged a little bit. And so, the Renegades are fascinating to collectors because, first of all, each one is a field and unique. And I think Robert had the most insightful comment when we were trying them all.
Do I get to say it?
Well, I'll explain it because you're kind of awkward the way you
talk. No, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah. So no, he said, listen, when you're tasting all of these, it isn't like you're learning about the rum. You're learning about yourself. You're learning what you like because there's so many different qualities of these rums and subtle differences. And you're saying to yourself, do you like this one that's a little bit salty? Do you like the one that's like really herbal? How about the lemony? Like you have so many in front of you. It's like
you get to use their array to dial in exactly what you like. And then because of all the documentation they've done along the way of from field to bottle that then tells you, well, if you like that one, it's because it's this, and therefore look for other rums like this. Oh, you must like it where it's a cane field by an old volcanic lake, or you like it when the cane field is near the ocean. You know, things like that.
But on a slight slope. And, you know, and
It
so
gets
anyway,
so insanely specific that when
It
you
does.
dial in what you like, you get to go, oh, well, how do I ever find that ever again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well,
we
it's
have
just-
realized
you know
that.
what? It's the more you know. Suddenly you're loaded with more information.
Well,
And-
like you said, Rob, you're learning about yourself and what you really like, what you
Mhm.
enjoy. You know,
And you
so
and also it teaches you one other thing. You should travel with my son because he's so fucking insightful. You know, he figures everything out. You know, it's disgusting. Okay, so and he has the most incredible sense of smell and taste. It's disgusting.
It's a burden.
you know,
It's a burden because you have no idea how many times I've gotten on a plane and went, oh God, there's someone wearing oud in the back of the plane.
yeah, but his ability to say like, oh, you know what, the chocolate is a little bit burned. I think you need to take that off the stove. You know, like, oh, okay, you put that. So
I could smell that in my room with closed door from the other side of the house. It was, yeah.
but
Blessing and a curse.
You spend your whole life tasting and evaluating and identifying things. It is a bit of a curse, a wonderful curse. So this one.
That's the aura.
oh, that's the
That's the
renegade.
cuvee aura. There's a couple of them that are cuvées where they're combining by their own ideas of it's going to be this field and this field and this field from that batch, and that batch. And there's some that they're then putting into barrels, which is a new thing for them, relatively. But what I keep looking for is the one that I really fell in love with. Is it Old Bacalet, Rob?
Yeah, Old Bacalet. Yeah,
You know, so it's very
every
cool.
field has a name, you know, depending on like some family story or, you know, location or something. And so it's pretty amazing to learn all that. And then there's, you know, Lake Antoine. You know, we know River Antoine is a distillery of note, right? But the river, it's really not a river, it's more like a little creek, but it comes from a crater called Lake Antoine. And there's Upper Lake and Lower Lake, and the rums taste completely different. I mean,
if I give it to you in a blind tasting, you would not know that they were from practically the same place. You would think that they're miles apart, maybe even different islands if you didn't know, like, you know, if you weren't familiar with how this stuff is. They're from like 100 yards away from each other.
So you guys really had a leg up just by being there when something like that was explained and brought forward. And you remember the guy that did the seminar was very good. And so anyway, it's so cool to be on that. I remember one time at Tales, I brought in the first collection of cachaça into the U.S. with Luca. And you look back at it now, cachaça, everybody's begun to appreciate that. And back then in 2014, nobody knew cachaça, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had been around Haiti collecting cachaças ourselves. And Luca had really done some big work, you know, from the European.
Oh, do you mean Clarin?
Oh, I said cachaça. All right, that's it. It's over. It's Clarin. Yes, we're in Haiti drinking Clarin, and we were the first ones to bring it in. Anyway, it was so cool when you're seeing rum evolve in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're there to see it. And you know what? If you're snoozing, you miss it. But you guys weren't. You were there. So
well, here's the thing.
I'll make an announcement now. You want to talk about things you don't want to miss? That was the question you'd originally asked. Is things not to miss? I'm gonna bring this to the special tasting bar. You know, the one where you have to pay tickets to get it, right? Yeah. Because it's from our collection. This is my opened bottle of St. James 2001. The reason I had to get this when I was there is because that's the year I graduated high school. So I said, "Oh no, that's coming home with me. That's my special baby." And if you could tell, I like it.
Yep.
So I'm going to be giving out the last little bit of it there.
That's
awesome. You want to come drink this with me?
So generous.
That is awesome.
That is super generous. One of the things that we really love, and that the reason we want to always come back to the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival is you guys do such a good job of the learning process of all of it. So for us, the day before the tastings, even when we're doing the sessions and we're getting to learn a lot more intricate details and be focused, that is such a big thing for us. Tasting different, we've had chances to taste different kinds of molasses, different kinds of rum at different stages.
Oh yeah,
all different things.
So hang on, let's back up here for just a moment and kind of give everybody, because I feel like we're jumping ahead.
Are we jumping?
And
a
we
little
have
bit,
all
a little
these
bit.
fine people
But
out
it's
here
exciting.
Watching this. I know, but we got a time out here, okay? Because we've got a lot of people here that have never been to your rum renaissance in Miami.
Or any rum festival.
Or any rum festival at all. So we need to kind of break it down. So like the first day, for example, we get there and you're having seminars, provided, you've got to buy tickets for the seminars. And I will say this.
Worth it.
I will say
Absolutely.
this.
So not only because of the seminars, but because the break room has media noches. And if you haven't had that, that's like the number one unique Miami food.
So in all seriousness, so we've been to a few rum festivals here and there. And I will say that by far, when we came there last year, you guys blew us away because of the presenters there that were actually teaching everybody what was going on. And you'll have a lot of rum distillers actually sitting in the seminars, learning right along with, normal people. Well, if you call us normal. Yeah. Right.
Normal's relative.
Yeah. Normal's relative, sitting there trying to learn from the people that you brought in from various rum companies, rum distilleries. And then, between the two, between the presentations, you've got a break room where you've got food, you've got water, you got, all this type of stuff, because during the seminar, you actually get to sample some of these distilleries' products, right? I mean, they're
not only that, but you get to sample them in sometimes ways that you normally couldn't buy. Like things like, here's fresh distillate, and here's what it's like after 6 months, and here's what it's like after a year.
And that
they like to see stuff like that.
Exactly. And it's really cool. So I want to make sure that everyone out there understands is that, it's not just about the, going and drinking rum. It's you have these seminars that you can actually learn, kind of like Rob, you had mentioned before, you learn more about what you like. And so this is a very good way to go into a seminar and learn how this distiller, for example, is producing their product. And you get to sample little bits and pieces of different things that you wouldn't normally get to sample. And you decide whether or not you like this. So this is a learning experience from the word go, right?
And it's not just Rum 101. If you are an advanced guy, they're telling you stuff that you wouldn't hear outside of going to the place.
Yeah.
But they're at our seminar.
That being said, it's for all levels. It is from ground level all the way to experienced people.
Well, isn't that the truth? We went in 2019 when we knew butt kiss about rum, and we learned tons. And we're going right now in 2024, and we're going to learn a ton then too.
Yeah.
Every time we
go. I'll give you a hint of something that's really great that's coming up, and I don't know where else you could ever get this like to this degree. And that is that, for example, the we all know the style of rum, the Navy rum. Stories about the British Navy and all of this. Well, in the background for the last couple of years, Matt Petrick was writing a book with Alexander Gabriel, and they came out with a new product, Mr. Fog.
Perhaps you've heard of it.
It's the most serious attempt ever to recreate a Navy rum and to dig into the lore and the technology and the history. And we're going to have a deep dive on that one. So you're going to
awesome. We're excited.
You're going to come out really, really, really being able to fucking talk about Navy rum and knowing what you're talking about. And then the specific journey that this rum took.
Yeah.
From idea to
Plantaray, which used to be Plantation, but they renamed their products.
Their because of the implication.
Right. And they are one of the best companies out there. They truly are.
They make some amazing products. They're doing some amazing things. I do
wide variety.
You know, Phil's telling me I need to jump in and take charge from you. I don't know.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
also
Okay.
I
Whatever.
also have Mark saying that I'm running amok, so I'm not sure which one's which. I do have Terry saying that Robert's glasses make him look 18 years younger, is what he's saying.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, see, we're in the age, so we love that. It's good to hear from you all and see you all. So,
yes.
And we kind of got into day one of kind of the seminars and why they're great. I do want to hit this off while we're kind of towards the beginning here, and we'll hit it again later. But when is the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, and how can people get tickets?
Okay, so you go to rumrenaissance.com or miamirumfest.com. It's going to start on Saturday, November 9th. And then that's the seminar day. And then the grand tasting is Sunday, the 10th. And then Monday, the 11th, which happens to be Veterans Day, is also a day where almost everybody in the trade is off. And so we have a separate day just for people in the trade to come. And, you know, I think you hit on something before that you're never done learning. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You know, people in the trade, they need to come in and get a briefing, you know, once a year, twice a year, whatever they can go to. And you know, we really appreciate that. And we're so glad to have so many people. You can't believe how many people from the trade are coming. I mean, it's amazing.
And you know, there's something else too. Like, it's important to have a trade day because I forget who said it. It might have been Ed Hamilton even that said if you haven't checked in on your favorite rum in 6 months, it might be different.
True.
That's fair.
That's super true. I love that. That is super true.
But you're also one thing you guys sort of hit on was in those seminars, you're learning from the pros, the people who really are in the trenches. They're doing, you know, the production. They're doing fermentation. You know, they're getting it right. They're doing blending. They're doing aging. And also, you know what? In the break, you meet these people. You shake their hand. You know, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes.
You know,
it is very cool. We've met some insanely cool people every time we come out, which has been a super big privilege. Yeah. We've had the chance to, honestly, we found some of our favorite rums that we keep around at this specific event. So to give you an example, we got a few on the bar right now. We had never heard 2019. We show up, we learned all about rum Babaku, right?
Yeah.
From where we're from in Iowa, that's unheard of. That's an unheard of thing.
Also, you're saying it right.
Not a lot of Haitians will tell you about it, right?
And I'm saying it right because I learned that there as well. Look at that. See?
There you go.
Big deal.
See? That's the thing.
When you talk to them and they're like, no,
I'm a little biased.
It's Babaku.
Yeah.
You know?
Babaku.
Now you're talking
very adamant about it. Very passionate rum makers.
The way I remember it is it sounds like barbecue.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to remember it. They're a ton of fun, by the way. When you talk about rum people who know how to have a good time, you go find those guys. They're always going to have a good time.
Am I right that the party at their exhibit space, at their booth, right? Is it the
just
best?
So much fun, so done up,
much fun.
They go big,
right?
And it's such a great time.
Everybody's having fun, but they've really got a following going on over there, right?
Yeah,
they do, and they should. Job. They deserve every bit of that.
Yeah.
You know, so another company that we learned about is Coconut Cartel.
Really nice folks. And they have such a cool shtick. You know,
local baby.
Proofing down their Guatemalan rum with coconut water is such a cool idea. And it's just so simple, isn't it?
And just the fact that they've come out with their new one this year, we're super excited to see where they're going with the Blanco and what they're doing there. Super cool.
This right here makes one of the best Cuba Libres out there. Amen. This right here is awesome.
It's such a great cocktail maker. You can make so many fun drinks, even down to the most simple ones, and it's perfect. Like, it's such a great.
Sometimes, and I'm going to throw this out there as the mixology guy, sometimes the simple ones are the best ones. You know,
absolutely.
A regular handshaken daiquiri is such a treat if you do it right.
And now
you can dial it in.
Rum is fun. You know, you look at you're excited. You found something. It works. You know how to use it.
Yep.
Right? It's kind of cool.
Somebody else
by the way,
met down there
that we're excited to see again.
Oh,
Alfredo, Everglades White Lightning. They got their new bamboo spirits, which we're really excited about. Everything they're doing, which is
that's a cool looking bottle.
There's a guy you'll meet there,
isn't
named
it?
Alfie. There's a guy named Alfie.
Alfie's.
You know, and so it's cool to meet these people and listen to their journey. You know, from just having this, you know, need to make rum.
So Rob, that's one of my favorite things about going to your Miami Rum Festival is meeting all these distillers and getting to learn a little bit of insight behind them, you know, because they're the people that are distilling these products. It's their creation, you know, and it's their love and strength and everything else that they put into their product. You know, it's really cool to hear their story, because everyone out there has a different story. You know, so
and there's so many rums, and there's so many kinds of rum that it's all about the stories.
Knowing the story is the value. Now, you guys know Siesta Key somewhat, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, and you know that Siesta Key has a mad following for their toasted coconut. All right?
Oh yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
And they're coming to the show, and you can talk to them about what they're up to and what they're doing. They're very successful. I love it. I mean, we knocked on this guy's door one day, and he's like, "What?" And I go, "You're the guy that makes the rum, right?" And he goes, "How did you know?" And I'm like, "Well, I root around," and I'm like, "You want to talk about it?" He goes, "Well, come in, I guess. We're just getting started, you know." And so, you know, these early beginnings where you see Troy Robertson in his potential. Well, what's it going to turn into? We never know, right? Does he have a marketing skill? Can he make good rum? You know, and then it turns out he's done very well.
I remember saying loudly in his company of like, you know, flavored rum should be rum flavored first. I think I think a lot of people took that to heart. You know, when you see stuff like the Plantaray pineapple, it's rum flavored first. It happens to have pineapple flavor. The Siesta Key toasted coconut is rum flavored. It happens to be toasted coconut flavor. You know, those are all. There's creativity to getting it where it's still got its characterful rum and it's got flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
And on that note, I never got to try the fog before, so I'm actually doing this live with you guys.
Okay,
nice.
I can't wait for you to try this. It's all banana on the front, on the nose, and like banana bread, and then gingerbread, and now I'm getting all dark cherry at the end, and it's just
it's one of those rums where a little taste, and then you sit back and let it play.
Here we go.
Awesome.
This is wild.
It's gonna keep talking.
There's no hiding this in any drink. If you put this in there, it suddenly becomes the star.
Right.
Love that. That's super awesome. Exciting. So I'm going to make a bold statement. So we've been to several rum festivals. We're starting to kind of spread out, try to find some. When it comes to the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, this one, the reason this one is our favorite show and the one we love to go to every year is because, and this is kind of how I break it down. This is the show you go to find the best rum distillers 10 years from now. Because this is where you are finding people who are in the beginning. You're catching them before their big break, right in the mix of them experimenting and trying things. And it's so cool because we're going to see that progress over the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years until
and a company or two at their peak.
And then all of a sudden at their peak. And so it's just really, really cool. And they have all levels, right? Like there's obviously the already at like top level performing rums that are there,
but you have new ones.
But you have so many great new contenders there where you're going to see what's going on in the rum world, how it's growing, what people are trying.
Bombarda, for example,
good one.
Right? Have a newer company.
Yeah.
Right. Captain James, he's been working his way up.
Yeah.
You know, he's got some good products out there.
And you can judge yourself by how good. If you look at it like music, let's say you went to South by Southwest. And there's a lot of bands playing, and you go, I don't know, man, that band is killer. I never heard of them. And you have good ears.
Right.
And then 3 years later, like these guys are breaking out, and you're like, oh man, I knew this, you know? And so it's kind of like that too. Like you see like the stuff that Bombarda has is pretty cool. And then
the South by Southwest of rum.
And their challenge is, of course, to get distribution and for everybody to figure it out. But you've been there in the early. You know, you look around and you say that guy's going to go somewhere.
Darn right.
Yeah, now you can tell.
Now that we've established that the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival is the South by Southwest event of rum, I'm glad that we put that out there. That needs to be known. Who is it this year? I got to ask you. Last year, I feel like Renegade really jumped in as kind of that new player. Do we have someone this year we have our eye on that we're looking at?
Well, you know, you look at guys like 10-1. You know them very well.
So we've dabbled into 10-1 a little bit. We've tried a few of their products, had done some reviews. Yeah, they doing new things.
When I first saw them, I said, these guys have potential. And it always comes down to, I think that a harder thing than making good rum is to succeed in the marketplace. And so you have to have both. If anyone's successful, they got a little bit of both. Maybe there's 3 or 4 people on the team. One of them is really good at marketing. But there's a lot of people who make good rum that don't have a good marketing guy. And you're sort of never going to really see them reach their potential that they might reach, right?
Now, Rob, isn't distribution a big part of that too?
It really is. And distribution is like take it, for example, you're looking at behind us, there's a lot of rums on the shelf, right?
Right.
Well, if you guys come out with your own rum, how do you get something off the shelf and yours on?
Right.
It's a Herculean feat, isn't it? Now, if you have some good promotion and maybe some people go with having a famous person, I mean, whatever you can do to maybe you just become a local rave, like a band might do it. It's a lot like music, isn't it? I mean,
right. It is a lot like music.
A local band may be the favorite in a college town, and you just hope you see these guys on tour someday, and you'll root for them, or but it's tough, isn't it? I mean, every kid grows up, he's going to be a famous basketball player, and it's like 1 in a million, right? So the odds are not particularly good. If we were just to start making our own rum, what would the chances be, right? I mean,
it's been said before, you can have the best product in the world, but it doesn't go anywhere unless everybody knows about it.
Yep.
Right.
Getting people's eyes on it is huge. And, so 10-1, that's Sierra, right? Sierra. Yeah. So, I'm waiting for them to come out with their Sierra line where they have the Hypnotic, Supersonic, Funky Fresh, like the different ones. Baku, that's a great one.
Baku is there. And
we enjoyed them last year.
They have good marketing materials, and their bottles are beautiful.
Oh yeah, they are.
I see some sophistication in the approach they take.
It reminds me of a cigar. Like their whole presentation reminds me of a cigar company.
Now here's one you have to know. You know how there's some of these guys that have one from Panama and one from Guatemala. Yeah. Look for these guys. Colors of Rum.
The colors.
They're going to be there.
I remember reading about them. Okay.
You could spend a half an hour just at their booth. All right, because
don't tell him that. We got to see everybody.
Oh my God.
They've got some picks that are gorgeous. Wait till you try them.
And I just saw a new Tandaway that got posted that I cannot wait to try.
Yes, the Tandaway Heritage. No one's ever seen it before.
Philippines.
I think they're debuting it here. I've never seen it. So
and there's one that just, it got my attention, and that's usually enough that I have to go take a break and go to their booth just to try it, right?
Chuckle.
Chuckle. I want to see what's going on there.
The label is a sticker.
You want to talk to that guy and go,
What? What are
you thinking?
So you said the label's a sticker so they can peel it off and put it somewhere?
Yeah, that smiley face is a sticker. They can peel off.
That is ingenious.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Nobody thought of that before.
See,
the best part is, right? For every bottle you sell, some guy is going to put that somewhere,
So funny story, because it's funny that you brought that up. I think that's a beautiful idea. I mean, it's just super brilliant. So a couple of years ago, we've been saving some empty rum bottles, and we've been peeling off labels because I wanted to make a bag set with all the rum labels on that bag set.
Ooh.
I thought that'd be really cool.
Are you talking like luggage?
No. So
like cornhole.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I thought it'd be really cool to have all these different rum labels on there, all this type of stuff. So it's something that
takes a lot of time.
Takes a lot of time to get those labels off the bottle.
It does.
Right?
And you have to be careful. You soak them in water, right? Warm water.
Yep.
And how much luck have you had getting the Barbancourt labels off?
Have any of those?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we even have any of those intact.
Well, we had this guy years ago who came to us, and what he does is he takes bottles and he melts them down in a kiln, and he makes a flat like a cheese tray, right? And then he puts the label back on, and you look at it, and you go, how did you do that so well, right? And he had his method, and he came to us, he did a bunch of them for us. We have some big ones, right? And he came to us and he said, look, guys, I'm going to retire. I'm going to sell the kiln. I'm going to quit doing it, right? Turn it flat. So yeah, look, see? And so he said, give me whatever you got for the last time. I'm doing the last ones. Now that's the old reserve to domain, see?
That's the one you only can get in the islands. I asked them in person. I was like, all right, what's really the difference? And they're like, oh, well, we chill filter the one that goes to the States so that we don't end up with a bottle in Denver that looks cloudy. So the reserve to domain, maybe just a little bit more special, maybe just a little bit more viscous.
And every bottle has a number on the back, and they don't do that anymore.
And then there's this big guy, which I had forever.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. This rum hasn't existed for a decade at least.
So you see what he was doing? He was taking the labels off carefully, melting down the bottles and putting the label back, right?
Yeah.
Size of my torso.
That's awesome. 3 liter.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
You know, Greg brings up a good point over here. Will we see this rum company? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we will, because Rum Dog Millionaire is not going to be making its debut at this show as of yet. So,
not
Greg, thank you for asking.
Yes.
But the Shark Pickle Hot Dog Rum is not making its way to the shelves just yet.
Not yet. Maybe
Shark
one of these.
Pickle?
They may not.
Well, Royer's writing a shark on the label. I don't know if you can see this super clearly, if you've ever seen this guy, but Royer's writing a shark. I'm writing a pickle, you know, and then it's filled with hot dogs and pickles because it's the most American rum we could think of.
So, you know, you guys remember John?
Oh yeah, just rum.
So he made that special just for us.
We were drinking one night, spitting off what would be the most American rum we could think of, and he designed the whole thing for us, word for word, what we came up with, down to the label, all the little details that we said. It's got a jackalope on it because it needed a cool spirit animal.
You must have had a lot of fun with that, huh?
Had a good old time.
There's a bottle that we found in New Orleans one time that had a scorpion and a snake in it.
I remember that.
You remember that?
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you know, you see things like this in Central America now and then, you know, like a scorpion or, you know.
What I want to know is how did they get them to survive in there for so long? I'm just kidding.
I think that they had to put them in there. First of all, it wouldn't fit through the neck, but they had to put them in there when they were young and feed them for a while and then load that rum.
Yeah.
But you know, and the scorpion and the snake must have just, you know, held off from eating each other or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, there was that reminds me, there was a really early internet meme before the word meme existed. That was like it was a bad prank that they did to people where they had a thing called bonsai kittens, where it was kittens in a jar of like they're clearly bigger than the neck. How did you get them in there? It's all fake, right? But just so well faked, and the guy never dropped the whole thing. He was just like, no, we have 2 tubes that one for feeding, one for waste, and you know we keep them in the jar until they're the right size, and then we send them to you.
Oh, wow.
You learn so much on these live broadcasts. I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it?
This is where the real stuff comes out.
We're an educational channel. We're waiting for PBS to pick us up any day.
Just think of what other tidbits this boy has in his mind that he could share or not. I
was one of the first people on the internet. You don't want to know.
That's right. We're not going to go there.
So, Robert, you are a mixologist as well, right?
Well, I use that term very loosely to mean that I am I'm not as good as a bartender, but yes, I do make cocktails, and I have done consulting. And you know, I'll make you a drink. It will be perfect. It will take me 3 times as long as a real bartender.
But also, you know,
he's
an experimenter and a balancer. You know, everything's going to be balanced.
I learned a long time ago how to paint with a palette, and it started with drinking a lot of different rum and knowing the rum well enough to know, like, you know, one of the things that occurred to me early on was like rum in cocktails, there's usually more than one. And so you play them like a chord on an instrument, you know, whether it's a guitar or a piano or whatever. You never just play one note on any instrument, right? And it's rare. And if you do, then you get a couple of those guys. So the point is, with the rums, you need to know them all so well that you can play them like a chord in a drink. That's the real trick to rum mixology, is knowing all the rums well enough to go, it needs this, this, and this to go with those flavors. Or you do it the other way around. You start with that, and then you put flavors that go with it.
Now let's
that's how you play.
Cocktails a little bit. You guys play with cocktails.
A little bit. Yeah. Not as much as we probably should.
And also, like when you're at the rum festival, there's people that are really good there making cocktails, and sometimes that's an awakener, for you to see. Oh man, look what they did with this rum. This, and obviously the boat drinks like pineapple and orange juice and stuff. That's one thing, right? But when people
boat drinks
things together, that are really interesting, and you're saying now that rum really plays well in there. That's more knowledge in your head, right?
So we actually have somebody that follows us, been a kind of a member of our crew for a long time, probably since the beginning. Actually, he's got his own YouTube channel. It's called Low Carb Cocktails. He puts out some amazing cocktails. So one of the things that he enjoys doing is he'll go out and he'll search out some different rums. He'll watch our channel for some different ideas of some different rums that maybe he wants to try in making some different cocktails. And it's really fun to see some of the different cocktails that he comes up with. But and he tries to do it in a low carb way, cool. Because there are a lot of people out there that enjoy drinking different cocktails that are diabetic as well. Yeah. So you got to watch those sugar intakes and this type of thing.
Fun fact, Hemingway used to tell his bartenders he was diabetic. Whether he was or he wasn't, it was about not having a bunch of sugar in his glass so that wouldn't be a pain in the ass.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we really appreciate about low carb cocktails. Greg puts out some amazing videos and some great ideas. Robert, I definitely suggest maybe you check it out a time or two. I think I'm in. I think Greg would love to have you check out his videos and that sort of thing. So I want to do it because we were talking about cocktails. I just wanted to plug a little bit of one of our friends out there for low carb cocktails. So
I think that works. And somebody does that for themselves and then shares it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's awesome. Another angle, isn't it?
It is very cool. It is.
It's cool to see how stuff is progressing and getting out there and everything. And I do want to ask a question. I don't know if you guys will know the answer. I'm just spitballing here. You guys are going to have a little company there, I believe, of Romero Rum. Yep. There is a little bit of a rumor that it's a possibility that the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be may possibly be in attendance. Do we know anything about that, or is it all unknown?
Man, I thought he was going to show up last year. I thought for sure if he's going to show up to any event, right? But I don't know. I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope for it.
I can tell you that I think that they are challenged to bring their team anywhere. And I think that I heard that they signed up, they paid, they're coming and everything, and then at the last minute, maybe they weren't coming or something. So, that happens. I don't know what's going on. But don't quote me on that. But there may be an issue there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I know somebody was really excited.
I'm hoping. We'll see.
Well, you and me both. It was cool to see the rum last year, first of all,
I might just try to provoke him a little bit to end up in a sharpshooter before I end up out of there. So
tag him in the post and be like, when you coming? We're ready.
So Saturday is the seminar day, right? And who do you have presenting this year? Can you say, Rob?
Yeah,
first up.
First of all, we're going up into the cave above the clouds in Guatemala to see how Zacapa produces their product.
Ooh,
and now we have been there. We've been to Guatemala and seen their whole operation. This is great. But having not flown around in helicopters, there other people might want to see what it's like, and it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So we'll do that, and then we have, as I was mentioning before, and I have the shirt, the Maikai. The Maikai goes back to 1956. we're going to go behind the scenes and see all the rums they used to use in the 50s and the 60s. And
they're going to talk about all the drinks that they use it in.
For a very long time, they ordered the most rum of any restaurant or bar in the United States. Wow. And so we're going to take a look at how many cases of rum they were ordering, what they were ordering.
Think about that for a second. Holy shit.
That's amazing.
The secret recipes for the drinks will not be revealed. No, but and then if we can, we'll taste a little bit of the sample of the new rum that they've designed, you know, for the new Mai Tai cocktail program. So and we'll meet
oh, nice.
Secret stuff, secret sauce.
We'll meet Corey Starr, who comes to them from the 3 Dots and a Dash in Chicago, and he'll be their new cocktail captain. You know,
honestly, one of the greatest bars I've ever been to. We couldn't ask for a better one.
Yeah, and so that's the second one. The third one is we've got Mr. Fogg, as we mentioned before, the whole in-depth story of how this rum came about. And the whole story of doing all the research on how Navy rums, there's a lot of stories out there about Navy rums that aren't completely true. So this
everything you've ever wanted to know, and so a few things that you didn't.
And a book, you can get a copy of the book. You know, how a Navy rum is made, how this Navy rum was made. And so that's really cool. That's the three seminars.
Very nice.
It was really quite different.
That's awesome.
So that's Saturday. Sunday,
tasting day.
Sunday.
So how many different rum distillers do you have a rough number about how many is going to be there?
Are we counting the ones that are being sold by Jensen?
I think that we have roughly 40 exhibitors.
Wow.
And they probably have an average of maybe 6 expressions each. You know, or something.
You need to pace yourself this year, mister.
Some guys have like
pace yourself this year.
This guy telling me.
Are you guys sticking around for the Monday? I mean, you're trade, so
unfortunately we're not.
Well then he can't pace himself that slowly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very quick turnaround for us. We make sure to pick a late flight on Monday, going out in the early afternoon there.
You are going out Monday afternoon. Okay. Well, Sunday there might be a really cool after party.
Oh man!
You know,
all right,
maybe
might have to find someone.
Just so everyone knows, when they say something like that,
it's amazing.
It's freaking amazing.
Last year was mind blowing.
Well, so you know what's great is, and you've experienced this with all of us have, is that without there being parties, it's like, hey, come over to our suite or come to our room, and it just people are so gracious. And
the room parties can be just as good as the official parties. I'm just saying.
Obviously, they're more exclusive too, aren't they?
Well, we did that 2 years ago with just rum, and then last year we ended up with rum barbecue. So you guys have hooked us up to be with some of the coolest experiences.
You just have to keep your eyes open, and these opportunities are there, right?
Right. Yeah. I got to experience.
We're very excited this year to go back to everybody in the trade and reach out to them like we used to do. We used to, I'll tell you what, in 2014, I think we gave out 2,500 trade tickets.
Wow.
So if you imagine every kid that worked in a liquor store, every bar back, I mean, everybody took off work that day.
Everyone always used to come to us and go, "Can I get a ticket?" And it was very nice for us to be able to go, "Yeah, we've got a special day just for you. Take this." It felt like being Willy Wonka, but we didn't even have to make the chocolate.
But also, as you can imagine, the exhibitors, they have a full day of rum enthusiasts, and then they have people who are liquor store buyers and food and beverage managers, and it's a wonderful love fest.
It's just as important for the bartenders to get in on it as the guys who are actually distributing, as the guys who are actually selling to the store, as the guys who are running a bar. They want to talk business.
They're all busy, and they don't have time to go discover rum. And
that's so true. And
I
on so many levels,
over these 15 years, I think we've had a profound effect on how much everybody understands about rum in South
I
Florida.
agree.
And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
There's so many when you talk about bartenders, right? Like they're busy, they're doing stuff, they're working all the time, and they're always on. So for them to have a chance to go try new product, it's not as easy for them to try a bunch of new product as it may seem, just because they're working with it all the time. They have the stuff that's brought into their restaurants and that they're using, and they're trying new stuff, but like to have the opportunity to do so much and figure out what's going to pair with what and actually put some new creative ideas. We had somebody at a Des Moines that reached out that runs a bar that was like, hey, we got to update our cocktail list. Do you guys have anything for a cocktail list that you might be able to suggest? Right? Like we get these
Boy,
questions.
howdy do I.
Yeah, right.
So an interesting thing too is I've met a lot of bartenders over the years, right? Over like, God, I think it's almost been 20 years now. I'm getting old, but I've met a lot of bartenders over the year. All the best ones never work on a Monday, right? So when we did trade day, we're like, put it on a Monday. All the good bartenders have that day off.
Yep.
So the least likely day you're going to have the biggest crowds and the most things. So the best bartenders are off. Let the newbies come in and learn and experience and whatever. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So now it's a whole nother level of getting stuck on a Monday of you did something to be punished if you have to work that Monday.
Yeah. You know what? But like we talked about up and coming, right? I have seen and they have been really appreciative. Up and coming bartenders, up and coming people working at a distributor, come in and learn so much, and they're so appreciative, and you can sort of get your eye out. That guy's going to be a great bartender. He's a bar back now who knows too much, and he's gonna. The next thing you know, you see him. He took over the main place. It's like that same sort of story, right? You meet these people on their way up, and you open the door to them and say, come in and learn. And the ones who take advantage of that really and take it to heart, that's a good sign of where they might end up, right?
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. So in case you're not all you fine people out there, in case you're not able to join us this year for the Miami Rum Renaissance,
start budgeting for 2025 immediately.
Baby. Do it now.
No, it's going to be after Thanksgiving. After Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's your little niche in there, is that and also people in the business will tell you that 40% of all sales of liquor happen in October, November, December. And so this is the season where the spirits business is active.
Weather's cooling off.
Spirit season is active. He's got the whole Halloween thing going, right?
Yeah.
Spirit season is active.
Makes sense. Day before Halloween.
Right before Halloween.
What better thing to go and experience a whole bunch of rums to know exactly what gifts you got to give everybody for Christmas.
That's right. That's so smart. This isn't because you want to. It's because you have to for your friends and family. Do them justice.
Yeah. How much do you actually love them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
That's what it boils down to.
Let's put some heart and soul into this. Let's go to Miami.
You know what else? It's good to have a case of something you really respect. So those last minute gifts, Uncle Joe or Cousin Nell stops by and you're like, I want you to have this. Oh, wow, thank you. Which is my imitation of Nell, but we all know that there are certain rums that are in a certain price range that you can be very generous with, right?
Oh yeah.
We don't have to be giving away $300 rums. I mean, there are some killer rums in the $25 to $35 range that are absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
And you can be very magnanimous, to use it.
Not to mention, there's a handful of rums that are more expensive where you live, but not so much down here.
That's
a good time to stock up for the season.
That's why we usually bring a couple of carry-ons or a couple of
and you bring the carry-ons to shove all the stuff from your checked bag into the carry-on at the last minute so you can carry more rum.
Yep.
Yeah, by the way, I have the TSA regulations memorized. Guess why? So I know exactly how many bottles I can stick in, how many liters of rum I can bring back from any place. But domestic travel is different. It's good like that.
Yeah, so it's awesome. We're excited. We're definitely going to obviously bring back a bunch. As we just even last week's or today's review was a rum that we purchased last year at the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival. So we're still going through it. Here we are a year later, and we're still making our way.
Yeah, you could
Tell me
tell.
something. You don't live in the most prolific area for buying rum at the local store, right? But
yeah, it's the self-proclaimed rum capital of the world over
Right here.
You know, hey.
but it's gotten better. There's more stuff on the shelf everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's grown. It has
It
grown.
has.
We've seen a little bit this year of a recess
Little
back.
slide. Slide backwards.
I think that's played into the Midwest a little bit just due to some other factors that people have pulled back
not for
safely.
the bourbon and whiskey either. It's for like gin.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it's sharing the shelf now with gin and brandy.
Gin is having a moment. Well, I know that, craft beer is hurting in a lot of places, and like cider is hip this year or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were talking about stuff
kind of in that same element.
Yeah.
You're talking about stuff you just got around to reviewing a year later. I still haven't cracked this guy open since March when I got it.
Oh,
that's the 2014
Barbados 2014.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it.
I
know there got in 2014
there too.
Also, probably the last one that'll say plantation, right?
I was gonna say ours are plantation. We have a couple over there that are, and I don't even remember what they are, but we still haven't gotten into either.
Not to mention, I still got cut and dry.
I love the cut and dry. That was such a good addition.
It's a good example where, like he was saying before, it's rum first, it's coconut, but it isn't just filler rum with coconut.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not coconut flavor. It's actual coconuts in Barbados.
Yeah.
Like might even be every single one of them left,
So Mark G's bringing up a good point in the comments here. He's already told his wife no vacations in November next year. He's going to Miami. I love the sound of that. We love to hear it, Mark.
Commitment.
Yeah,
there you go.
We're setting it up now. We're planning ahead. This is the way to be.
Talking about
that's
planning.
the way you do it, right?
Hey guys, speaking of plans, I want to make a plan with you guys right now. All right, there's a place I haven't been to in Miami for apparently the best Cuban sandwich in the world. It's called El Sanguiche because it's Spanglish, right? It's how you say it in the Cuban accent, El Sanguiche.
Okay.
And we got to go try it because they've got like some crazy imported Spanish ham on it, and it's just look, it's a $14 Cuban sandwich. I don't know what other occasion.
No problem. We'll put it on Boyer's credit card.
We're in.
Hey, even a half of one is all you need, right?
I'm excited. I tell you what, the best Cuban sandwich I've had so far, and I can't even remember the name of the restaurant. Maybe you guys can help me out if you've been there. Down in Key West, down there, they've got a Cuban place.
Siboney.
What was that?
No, Siboney. No, he's talking about the one that's in. You're talking about the one that's attached to a laundry place, right?
Is it a laundry place? It's got a cigar shop on it. It's down there on the pier.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. I don't know that.
All the way down on the pier, and I can't remember the name.
I do know that one. I don't remember the name.
It's a Cuban restaurant down there. If you're ever down at the pier, it's the best Cuban sandwich. I had it 3 times when I spent a week in Key West. It was the best Cuban sandwich I've had.
We're down there the first week of December every year.
Yeah,
we'll hunt it down.
There's a handful of places that have the best Cuban sandwich in Key West. There's one that's attached to a 24-hour laundromat, so it never closes. And I'm in love with that because it's exactly like the one that I used to go to in Coconut Grove called Mary's. They're also attached to a 24-hour laundromat. They're even open on Christmas Eve at like 3 a.m. I went there once. There was a line. So
crazy.
Wow.
You got to love a place like that, right? But then there's also like a really crazy good sit-down restaurant in Key West called Siboney. And that's got one of the best ones I've ever had because it's like, instead of sheets of ham, strips of, it's chunks of, and you're like, oh, that's different. So listen, we've got a whole lot of places now I got to go check out in Key West. Anyway, I'll be down there in a couple of months.
That's awesome.
Report live.
Definitely. So that place has the best Cuban sandwich. And then we stumbled into this hole in the wall actually on a day where we had forgotten to eat and we missed everything. And we were trying to find food for dinner. And it was the only place open was Bruschetta by Francesca. Was like an Italian place down there, a hole in the wall. The way better, that hole in the wall place. I tell you what, everybody there is super passionate about what they do, and they are really, really good. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
I know we're super off topic now, but if you ever find yourselves in Key West again and you don't call me to hang out, there's one place you got to go try. All right.
All right.
It's called Mr. Z's.
Mr. Z's.
They make the best They make the best steak and cheese sandwich I've ever had outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And pizza.
And they put it on pizza if you ask them.
Really?
Wow.
It's so ridiculously good. And the pizza's good. But when you combine these powers, you make Captain Philly pizza. It's just
awesome. Okay.
That sounds
noted.
incredible.
Mr. Z's. Love that. We'll definitely be back soon.
And by the way, the rum in Key West is good. Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Definitely.
Very
if
good.
you haven't tried all the rum in Key West yet, now is the time.
You got to go to Mr. Cheapy's or Lost Weekend. You know, there's some. We had every liquor store every year when we're there. I mean, we literally go to every liquor store.
That's awesome.
You know, just to check in, say hi, and
see what's up, see what products are there, see what's new. Love that. Yeah. That's awesome.
The last time I talked to First Legal Rum Distillery,
right?
Yeah.
He was talking about putting barrels on a wreck to bring them back to then use for aging.
Underwater
okay.
wreck. Well,
yeah, underwater, a shipwreck.
Yeah,
Paul that's cool. Paul so we just missed him that. There. We had set up a time with him, and we just ended up missing.
Yeah,
some things going. Ended up missing him,
it
unfortunately,
happens.
but we did get to go in there and check it out.
But man, so I thought that was a really cool idea. You want some shipwreck rum? There's authentic.
We're
Hit me.
Talking about travel, going these different places. Rob, do you have any, ideas of maybe, I don't know, maybe a rum cruise or something like that? You guys got anything like that you want to talk about at all?
We have not set up the next rum cruise yet.
Okay.
Oh, it'll probably be in April. And what we always look for is the cruise ships do the Eastern Caribbean November through April, and then a lot of them go to the Mediterranean. I don't know why, but so it gets really quiet in some of these islands after that without the big ships coming. So it's usually April-ish that we do something. But I can tell you that the reason we haven't done it yet is because there's another festival coming up that we're doing in Fort Lauderdale in March. And that's taking a lot of time. And it's not a rum festival per se. It's called the Tropical Spirits Festival. And it's everything that's tropical. I mean, tequila comes from a tropical place, right?
Yeah.
And where's that?
And it's going to be at a really beautiful place in Fort Lauderdale. The locals know it as this mansion hidden in plain sight right on the beach between the Intercoastal and the beach. It's called the Bonnet House. And it's wait you see it. It's unbelievably cool. And
but hey, don't tell anybody yet. We haven't.
Yeah, no, it's a secret. It's a secret. But that's the reason why I haven't already set up the next Rum Renaissance cruise. Is that will come and we'll do it.
So let me ask you this: do you guys have like a newsletter or anything that maybe people could sign up for to get information about this type of stuff?
Well, we sort of have different lists for different things. But if you're signed up for Rob's Rum Guide, or if you're signed up for the Miami Rum Fest email, you're getting this information. So
perfect.
Yeah, but we won't publicly tell anything. It's not public, is it? About this.
No, we won't tell anyone.
We'll just keep this between all of us.
Yeah. But
I don't see anybody else here.
Nope. This is going to be really cool because there's a lot of the spirit companies we work with. We only deal with them on their rum, but they have all sorts of other stuff.
You bet.
And so, and there's a heavy emphasis here on cocktails because it's a tropical theme first.
Yeah, you bet.
And what can you do with the tropics? So every island, every tropical place in the world, every different kind of libation that they enjoy, and the music and the culture and the food. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Man, that is really awesome. I'm really excited. We're going to keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
We're going to keep an eye out for the cruise. But in the meantime, we're going to come out in a week and a half, and we're going to hang out with you guys for a couple of days. And we're really, really
excited. I can't wait, dude.
So it's going to be a ton of fun. Thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes of your time to come hang out with us. Drink some rum, share some beautiful knowledge with some people. Thanks to everybody that showed up, hung out. Again, check out the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival. Look it up on their website. Check that out.
Find our Instagram, Rum Renaissance on Instagram.
There you go, Instagram.
Hit them on the Insta. follow. Make sure you keep up with notifications. They have other events, things that they're going to be mentioning. So make sure you follow along throughout the year with them. And we're really excited. We can't wait to come see you guys.
Yeah.
And look, you guys are the most fun people in the rum business, and that's saying a lot.
Because we're so excited.
We appreciate
we do appreciate
that. Rum is fun, as much as some people want it to be all stuffy sometimes. No, rum is fun. Rum people are fun people, and you guys are right up there.
Oh, man, we're super excited. Super grateful for that. It means a lot coming from you guys. We're excited, and it's going to be a good time. We'll do some fun stuff. So we got to get out of here tonight. Yep. We're excited to see you guys in a week and a half. Rum Daddy Royer, let's get everybody home safe.
Always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and no rums or harm during the making of this video.
Not at all. We'll see you later, guys.
Take care.